Installing mental model for JWT. Every time you log into a website, the server hands you a token, a long, ugly string of characters, and you carry it with you on every single request. Here's my token, let me in. But here's what most developers never do. They never actually look inside that token. Let's fix that. Take a real JWT. It looks like random noise, right? 3 chunks of gibberish separated by dots. But watch what happens when you base 64 decode the first chunk. It's just JSON. Plain text. It says algorithm HS256. Type JWT. That's the header. It tells you how this token was signed. Now decode the second chunk. More JSON, and this time it's your identity, your user ID, your name, your role, when this token expires. All of it, sitting right there. Not encrypted, not hidden, just encoded. Anyone with your token can read everything about you, right now, in their browser console. That's not a bug. That's how JWT was designed. So a JWT has 3 parts. Header.payload.signature, we just saw the first 2. But the third part, the signature, that's where the real magic happens. Think of it like a wax seal on a letter. The letter itself isn't secret. Anyone can read it. But if someone changes even one character, the seal breaks. The header tells the server which algorithm to use. The payload carries your claims, your identity, your permissions. And the signature, it's a mathematical proof that nobody tampered with the other 2 parts. Here's the critical insight. The server never needs to store your session. No database lookup, no Redis cache, no session table. It just checks the signature. If it's valid, the payload is trustworthy. If not, rejected. That's why JWT became so popular. Stateless authentication. The token carries everything the server needs. But that convenience, it comes with a cost we'll get to. Let's build a signature from scratch. The server has a secret key, a long random string that only it knows. Take the header, base 64 encode it. Take the payload, base 64 encode it. Concatenate them with a dot. Now feed that string, plus the secret key, into a hashing algorithm and encrypt it. What comes out is a fixed length hash, a fingerprint. Change one letter in the payload, even adding a space, and the hash is completely different. That's the signature. When a token comes back to the server, it repeats the process. Take the header and payload from the token, recompute the signature using its secret key, and compare. Do they match? The token is authentic. Do they differ? Someone modified it. Rejected. This is why the secret key matters so much. If an attacker gets your key, they can forge any token they want. Any user, any role, any permission. The whole system crumbles with one leaked secret. Now here's where it gets dangerous. Remember the header? It has a field called alg that tells the server which algorithm to use for verification. What if an attacker changes that field to none, as in no algorithm, no signature needed? In 2015, researchers discovered that multiple JWT libraries actually honored this. The server would read ALG none, skip signature verification entirely, and trust whatever was in the payload. An attacker could set their role to admin, remove the signature completely, and walk right in. This is the ALG none attack. And it worked because the libraries trusted the token to tell them how to verify itself. The fox guarding the henhouse. The fix seems obvious. Never accept ALG none. But the deeper lesson is this. Never let the token dictate how it gets verified. The server should already know which algorithm it expects. Anything else gets rejected immediately. Modern libraries have patched this. But it's a perfect example of how a design that looks elegant can hide a catastrophic flaw. The ALG none attack isn't the only trap. Here are the mistakes that still bite teams in production. First, weak secrets. If your signing key is password 123 or your company name, an attacker can brute force it offline. They have the header and payload in plain text. They just need to guess the key until the signature matches. Use at least 256 bits of randomness. Second, no expiration. If a token never expires, a stolen token works forever. Always set the XP claim. Short-lived tokens, 15 minutes, maybe an hour, limit the blast radius. Third, storing sensitive data in the payload. Remember, anyone can decode it. Don't put passwords, credit card numbers, or internal system details in there. The payload is public. Treat it that way. Fourth, not handling revocation. JWT is stateless, which means you can't traditionally invalidate a single token. If a user logs out or gets compromised, their token still works until it expires. Solutions exist: token block lists, short expiration plus refresh tokens, but they add complexity back. The stateless dream has limits. JWT is a powerful tool, but like any powerful tool, it assumes you know where the sharp edges are. Cognitive architecture updated.